President Biden promised a more humane approach to immigration. He vowed to reverse the harsh policies of his predecessor. But, well, recent actions tell a different story. The Biden administration announced a new rule that restricts asylum for migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. This move has sparked outrage among immigration advocates, who see it as a betrayal of Biden's campaign promises. The new rule requires asylum seekers to seek protection in countries they pass through before they reach the U.S. It places a heavy burden on vulnerable families, fleeing violence and persecution. Imagine fleeing your home with your children, desperate for safety. You reach the U.S. border, hoping for refuge, only to be told you cannot even apply for asylum and are turned away. This is the reality many migrants now face. This policy shift has left many questioning Biden's commitment to immigration reform. Critics argue it mirrors the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy, which forced asylum seekers to wait in dangerous Mexican border towns, often controlled by criminal organizations. The new rule, while different in some aspects, raises concerns about the safety and well-being of asylum seekers. The Biden administration defends the new rule as a necessary measure to control the unprecedented number of migrants arriving at the border. They say it will discourage illegal crossings and claim it will streamline the asylum process for those with legitimate claims. However, critics argue that the rule denies the fundamental right to seek asylum and say it is a step backward for a nation built on immigration. This new policy has ignited a heated debate about the future of U.S. immigration policy. The Trump administration implemented a zero-tolerance policy, leading to the separation of thousands of migrant children from their parents at the border. Images of children in cages sparked international condemnation, casting a dark shadow over America's image as a beacon of hope for those seeking a better life. Trump's policies were rooted in a hardline approach to immigration, aimed at deterring migration through fear and intimidation. He demonized immigrants, portraying them as criminals and a threat to national security. This rhetoric resonated with a segment of the American public, fueling anti-immigrant sentiment and dividing the nation. Biden vowed to undo Trump's legacy on immigration. He promised a more humane and compassionate approach. However, the recent border policy shift has drawn comparisons to his predecessor's tactics. Critics argue that while the methods may be different, the underlying goal remains the same: to restrict access to asylum and deter migration. The Biden administration rejects these comparisons, arguing that their approach is fundamentally different. They emphasize that they are trying to create a more orderly and humane system and highlight their efforts to address the root causes of migration from Central America. However, the similarities between the two administrations' policies, at least superficially, are difficult to ignore. This raises questions about the future direction of U.S. immigration policy. Immigration has become a deeply polarizing issue in American politics. Republicans and Democrats have clashed over border security, asylum policies, and a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. Trump's hardline stance on immigration galvanized his base and became a defining issue of his presidency. Biden faces a delicate balancing act. He must address the concerns of moderate and progressive Democrats who demand a more humane approach to immigration. He also faces pressure from Republicans who favor stricter border control measures. The upcoming presidential election adds another layer of complexity to this issue. The Biden administration's recent policy shift on asylum has been interpreted by some as an attempt to appease Republican voters, which they believe will help him in the upcoming election. However, this strategy carries risks. It could alienate the Democratic base and dampen enthusiasm among Latino voters, a crucial voting bloc in key states. The political battle over immigration is likely to intensify as the election draws closer. Both parties will use this issue to mobilize their supporters and sway undecided voters. Meanwhile, the human cost of these political calculations continues to mount. Migrants seeking a better life are caught in the crossfire. Their futures hang in the balance, subject to the whims of American politics. Biden's decision to tighten asylum rules is, well, a calculated risk. He's betting that this move will help him politically, hoping to neutralize a potent issue for Republicans. However, this gamble could backfire, potentially alienating his base and jeopardizing his re-election chances. The move has been met with fierce criticism from human rights groups. They accuse Biden of abandoning his commitment to human rights, arguing that the new rule violates international law and warning of dire consequences for asylum seekers turned away at the border. Despite the backlash, the Biden administration is standing firm, arguing that the new policy is necessary to restore order at the border, claiming it will deter illegal crossings and discourage frivolous asylum claims. It remains to be seen whether this gamble will pay off. The success or failure of Biden's strategy will depend on several factors, including the effectiveness of the new asylum rule in reducing border crossings and the political fallout from the policy shift. The outcome will have significant implications for the 2024 election and the future of U.S. immigration policy. The debate over immigration reflects a deeper division within American society. It's a clash of values and visions for the nation's future. On one side are those who believe in America's history as a nation of immigrants. They support a more welcoming approach, seeing immigrants as a source of strength and vitality. On the other side are those who view immigration through a lens of fear and suspicion, seeing immigrants as a threat to national security and American culture, supporting stricter border control measures and limits on legal immigration. This division has been exacerbated by political rhetoric and media coverage that often demonizes immigrants and fuels anti-immigrant sentiment. Immigrants are caught in the crossfire of this debate, often used as political pawns, their lives and futures reduced to talking points in a larger ideological battle. The human cost of this political stalemate is immense. The stories of immigrants are often overlooked in this debate. Stories of families fleeing violence and poverty in search of a better life. Stories of individuals who contribute to American society through their hard work and talents. Stories of hope, resilience, and the pursuit of the American dream. These stories remind us that immigration is not just a political issue. It's about real people with real lives and real dreams. America has long been seen as a land of opportunity, a beacon of hope for people around the world. The promise of the American dream has drawn generations of immigrants to its shores. However, the recent political climate and the tightening of immigration policies have cast a shadow over this promise. The new asylum rule sends a message that America is closing its doors to those seeking refuge, undermining the values of compassion and humanitarianism that have long defined the nation. It raises questions about what it means to be American in the 21st century. The future of U.S. immigration policy remains uncertain. The outcome of the upcoming election will have a significant impact on this issue. However, one thing is clear. The choices America makes today will have profound consequences for generations to come. Will America continue to be a nation that welcomes immigrants and offers them a chance at a better life? Or will it turn inward, driven by fear and division? The answer to this question will determine not only the fate of immigrants, but also the soul of America.